So the first hand-drawn video was an RSA animate, and it was conceived about October 2010. And it just completely revolutionised a visual representation of knowledge. They took a speech and they created a video that people could watch and hear the speech at the same time. And they used a whiteboard, black pen with some orange. And they also brought in a very nice device where the hand drew a digital rendition of type. And this completely changed how people felt that they could draw animation. Suddenly you could see the person drawing the video. So we looked at this style and we wanted to extend it and bring more colour in. With my Disney background, it was a natural to say, let's use more colours, and also let's bring a more graphic component to it, where we take strategic messages and we segment them into shorter frames so the audience can really understand and also absorb more information. So we took quite a serious theme and we drew it across a whole narrative. And this really brought it to life because the audience that were watching it were really familiar with this theme.
And stay ahead in the race. Be involved, be inspired, be inclusive, so that we can all win the race together.
After 2 days of PowerPoints and videos, suddenly you had this giant hand drawing it, drawing all the facts and figures that they were familiar with. It really set the stage for the speaker to say, this is how we're going forwards. So it worked fantastically well. Great feedback. Client said, your video presented the information in a way that slides simply couldn't have done. So then Unilever also gave us a new challenge. The Indian graduate recruitment market is, of course, huge. And they said, we want to surprise people, but the component of it was, we want to be able to stop it, which of course is pretty tricky with video. So we created it in a phased manner where they got all their big facts and figures over. And they also, another key part of their brief was, we want to show a lot of our brands because that's what really differentiates us. So we created the screen with a smaller screen showing their brands and their videos in the corner, and in the other side of it we were able to present all the large, really impressive pieces of information they wanted to show. Then if a student suddenly said, I've got a question, they could stop it very quickly at each stage. So previously we'd always used a voiceover, we'd used music, so it was a multi-sensory experience in that way. We'd synchronised writing the words on the screen while the viewer was hearing the voiceover, which participants had fed back and said, gosh, I just really engaged because I was reading it and I was hearing it, and I could, it created this impactful communication. So Vodafone, their presenter said, I want to say the script. I want to present the messages and the narrative myself, and I want the video playing behind me, which is a different proposition. It changed how we looked at it because the video had to really work. It had to really do a great job behind her, and she also had to completely synchronise with the video. So this meant we had to slow it down, we had to bring in different components of it. And the biggest part of this was really the planning. We had to synchronise the timing of the script with how she said it and when she would say it. And in the end, perfect. You are very much down though. Your script is always the biggest component of any hand-drawn video, I would say. And working closely with the client, and they were fantastic. So, we were very pleased with how it came out, and again, very good response from the client and from the participants at the conference. Zodiac Aerospace, as the world #1 in commercial aircraft seats, had one opportunity to launch their new flat bed seat. This, of course, was a new product for them that was going to retail for tens of thousands of pounds, and they wanted to present it at this trade show in a really impactful way that would grab the buyers and also get them to understand how their new product worked and how it would really benefit their airline to obviously make that purchase. So we'd worked with all these different techniques. We'd brought in photos and we'd started doing the drawing with the digitalized text and logos and bringing in whatever you wanted, moving videos. And then we started playing around with what else could we do with this? Because, it's a very new technique. A lot of people had copied the RSA, but we wanted to do something fresh. So for our Christmas promotional video, we decided to see what we could do. So we used the British carol of 12 Days of Christmas and used each part of it to try out a different technique. And this involved bringing in three-dimensional aspects, such as bringing an iPad in. We also had iPhones coming in, and you can have things on screens. We were playing around with bringing a liquid over the drawing, and that suddenly gives you another dimension into it, and it's a real shock because, oh my God, you've wet your drawing. And then also we had a money aspect where you could just throw in lots of money at the end of it. And so for us, we had a great response because it was fun, and you could just play, you know, and people like play, and it's very attractive. And then of course we had the music on top, which was this sort of quite corny music, but for a business Christmas card, very pleased with it indeed.